Hi, good evening, and welcome to another in the series of free guitar lessons. My name is Telly Crawford for those of us who are joining for the first time, and this is number 4 in a series of 8 free lessons that I'm doing. We're all at home, whether working or just sticking to the rules that we stay home. Whatever it is that keeps you home, I hope you find something that you can do to pass the time. And don't get bogged down by just being there. Do something. In this case, if you are into music, you can learn to play the guitar, and I'll be giving some tips on singing. I want to wish everyone a safe ride from here on in. Those of us who have lost loved ones, like myself, I lost my sister. Stay encouraged, we'll get over this, and so I just want you to not be bogged down by the burden if you look on the whole thing, but just take it one day at a time, today and then tomorrow, and slowly we'll get out of this. Okay, so this evening I want to talk about musical styles. Okay, so if you are playing the guitar, if you want to play the guitar, you want to learn to play the guitar, there's more than one side to it, so that if you were to go to Carnegie Hall to see a guitarist in concert, it would be a totally different experience from going to the BB King's in Times Square, or going to the whatever club up the block who is putting on the latest wave in grunge rock. It's a different experience from one place to the next. The only thing in common is that we're all using the guitar. I started out with a well-known Spanish piece. That is one of the most popular pieces in the classical repertoire. It's called Spanish Romance or just Romance. And we're not quite sure who wrote that piece. It's attributed to Anonymous, so that we aren't sure who the composer was. But it's a pretty little piece, and then I go from that very classical Spanish piece to Arabella Fonte. Then I did the blues. The idea is learning to play the guitar. You don't have to tie yourself down to one thing. Students often ask me, what style do you teach? I don't teach a style, I teach you to play the guitar. It's like going to learn to drive. You don't say to the instructor, I want to learn to drive a BMW or a Nissan or a Volvo. You want to learn to drive. Once you can drive, then you decide on what car you want to buy. Same thing with the guitar. Once you can play the chords, which is what playing the guitar boils down to, how well are you able to get your fingers where they're supposed to be for the song that you're playing? How do you get your fingers where they're supposed to go, like I said, and how steadily can you keep a beat? If you can do those things, then you're well on the way to learning to play the guitar. So style doesn't count. Once you can play the guitar, it's a matter of, do you like jazz? Do you like the blues? Do you like reggae? Do you like calypso? Do you like classical? You can explore all those styles once you can make some music on this box, okay? Or if it's an electric guitar, it doesn't make any difference. So today I want to spend a little bit talking about approaching different styles. So again, from the Carnegie Hall thing where the guy, it's mostly classical. And so on. If that's a Brazilian piece, Villa Lobos, but it's a different thing from playing Arabella Fonte. Daylight come. To the blues, we get a come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. And so on. They were a little blues, classical, whatever style you're interested in playing. The most important thing is to know where you're at any given time in your practice, in your study. Am I trying to play a steady song, like let's say I've got sunshine on a cloudy day, when it's cold outside, I've got the money. So there I'm switching from the one style to the next style, and I can do this only because I can play the guitar. So if I said, all right, I want to learn a B.B. King song, I know what I need to do. If I want to play a Bob Marley song, if I want to play the Beatles, if I want to play a Spanish piece, right. So the thing is, exactly what styles are you into. Multi-stylist, where you can go from one to the next, and it's all possible once you can play the guitar. So remember, a few things to bear in mind when you pick up your instrument to practice, or if it's singing. If you're singing, what types of song do you enjoy singing? And work with the styles that you like. Listen to great singers who are specialists in the particular style you want to pursue, and then study. And again, remember, avoid comparing yourself to others. Like, as I said earlier, you're not Beyonce, you're not Whitney Houston, you're you, and they, you know, so stick with who you are. I mean, you can be inspired by great singers, but don't compare yourselves with others. You'll always fall short or fall way ahead of others. So be yourself as you practice. And in the case of the guitar, which is my domain mostly, I'm going to share a few things you want to bear in mind. The first thing is, do you plan to play with fingers or picks, the plectrum? So now most people aren't sure how to hold the pick, and I had problems when I just started to play with picks. I couldn't keep the thing in my hand for anything. It always works itself out and then fly away somewhere. So there's an approach. If you balance the pick on your pointer and then place your thumb on like that, so that when you're getting ready to play, the small part of the pick should be pointing back at you this way. So, and then when you hold it, check on it every so often, because it will continue to work itself out until you're playing with it like this, and in no time it's gonna be gone. So always keep a firm grip. And when you're strumming, that's brushing the pick or your finger across the strings, the pick should be at, you know, hold it not too long, not too short. Different gauges of picks will allow different ways to control it as you play, but have a good grip, and you don't want to make too much of a big gesture when you're beginning. You want to get accustomed to feeling the pressure of the string against the resistance of the string against the pick. You want to go down, up, down, up, down, up on the first string, for example, and then on the second string you do the same thing. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And you're moving your hand back accordingly, so that at any given point your hand is the same lineup in relation to the front of the guitar. So if you're here, don't try to curve your hand under to get to the top string, which is the sixth string. Just from the first string, you move a little back for the second string, third, fourth, fifth, so that by the time you get to the sixth string, look, my hand is way back. Now if I were to work my way back to the first string, I would go there, there. My hand is moving along there. So it's this, I'm moving back. So my hand is constantly going this way or this way based on what string I'm picking at any given time. So explore the idea of the pick. Get it. If you're sitting, try to spend a few minutes working the pick, and all you need to do to begin is to do a back and forth, or up, down on this string. Don't hold it too rigidly like that. Just very lightly. Second string, third string, and just pushing across and pulling back. So the pick has a little play either way. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Before you know it, you'll get a feel for the pick, and you'll be able to do whatever you want to do on the guitar, whether it's playing a scale. And did all down strum that time. So you can do down, down, or you can go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. As I said in the first lesson, strumming doesn't present much of a confusion because you can you either strum down or up. There's nothing else. Either down or up. The speed and the stylistic elements always dictate how you strum at any given time. But it's down or up, no matter what. It's they're strummed down or it's strummed up. So the idea is to get accustomed to moving across the neck, across the strings, and be patient. Slowly. I'm just experimenting with the different gauges, feeling the different resistance from the first string to the sixth. So you want to just go across, down, up, switch to the second string and do the same, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, and sooner or later you'll get the hang of it and it will become second nature. In the meanwhile, if you're home and you're interested in pursuing fingerstyle, you should be able to do both. So after the pick, you can then practice using the fingers. The first piece I played, the Spanish Romance. So I am just doing A, M, I. So the fingers of the right hand, if you're studying the Spanish style, the P, the thumb rather, is called pulgar. So it's indicated with a P, I for the index, M for the middle, and A, annular for the ring finger. The pinky doesn't get into the action as yet. So it's P, which is the pulgar, the thumb of the right hand, I for the index, M for the middle finger, and A, annular, for the ring finger. So if you want to do an experiment, just make a fist and open it halfway. So from there, a fist, open it halfway. If you can maintain the same curvature of the fingers and then bring your hand to the guitar string. So the thumb rests on the sixth string. Index finger hooks itself onto the third, middle finger onto the second, and the A finger, the ring finger, hooks itself under the first string. So for that piece I was playing if you can see this, I was plucking the first string with the annular finger, and then middle finger plucks the second string, and pointer or index finger plucks the third string. So it's A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I. So you can do that little exercise at home, and remember, keep the curve in your hand. It's like picking up a suitcase, that same sort of a curve in the fingers, where you place and assign each finger to a string. A finger, the annular or the ring finger, plays only at this point, only the first string. M, middle finger, and index finger. So A, M, I. So if you play A, pluck the first string with A, middle finger, M plucks the second string, and pointer plucks the third string. So if you think A, M, I, and repeat M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I. So that is the whole idea behind playing arpeggios on the guitar. A, M, I, A, M, I. So if you keep doing that and then just add a chord, so this is just like an automatic A, M, I, A, M, I. A, the annular finger plucks only the first string at this point. M plucks only the second string, and I, index, plucks only the third string. So it's A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I. So the piece I played earlier, the Spanish piece, this is all I'm doing. A, M, I, A, M, I. So when I put my left hand down, it sounds like this. Or slower, A, M, I, or once you get the hang of it, it's a matter of just speeding it up. So A, annular finger plucks only the first string. M, middle finger plucks the second string. Just play through it. Just flick from this joint, just flick through, and let your hand finger bounce back to naturally. Don't impose any restriction on the finger. Once it plucks, it settles back by itself, and the I is the same thing there. So later on, I'll bring in the thumb, which does this. The thumb plucks the fifth, the sixth, fifth, and fourth string. So there, 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 there. Later on, you learn to combine both to do that, or to right. So that is one style of playing, fingerstyle playing. If you want to get into some so that's with the pick, more volume. You can fill a room of people, fill a room with sounds using a pick. If it's a 100 seating hall and your finger you think won't do the job, very light and sort of a suave sound, the pick will surely give you more volume. There. For those people who, if you want to get into reggae, that's awesome. The pick is very good for that, to do that. Right? No matter what the style is, you can use the pick if you want to get more volume, or you just prefer to play with a pick. That's up to you. You should be able to do both, to go from pick whatever you are playing, you should be able to go from pick to whatever it is. You should be able to do both. You won't always have your pick, but you'll always have your fingers. So it's a good idea to work with both of them, okay? So stylistically speaking, remember, the guitar is an instrument that is very flexible. You can go from a Lionel Richie love song, stop get this feeling down deep in my soul, but I just can't lose, to on a cold vigorous man, on a train bound to nowhere, to country, to whatever style you want to play. It's not right on this box here. You have to decide, okay, I want to learn to play the instrument first, then I'll branch off into blues, jazz, reggae, calypso, folk music. It's all possible once you learn how to negotiate these strings from string to string without much stress. In the beginning, it will feel a little tricky, I know. Your fingers are doing their own thing. But if you practice slowly and be goal-oriented when you practice, ask yourself, what am I covering in this practice session for 15 minutes? So you say, all right, I'm going to play the G chord, then the C chord, then the D7 chord, and back to G. I've covered all of this already. We're combining these three chords. You have a key. Three chords that sound well in succession. There, 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 and back to here. Now, if you practice diligently 3 times a week for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, believe me, you'll soon start to see progress. It doesn't have to be 90 minutes of frustration. Just focus on one thing. I want to be able to go from this chord to this chord and this one and come back to this one. You're in good shape if you just learn to stick with whatever it is you set out to do during the practice session. Later on, you'll find your fingers going to these places and say, wow, that wasn't hard this time. You're getting the hang of it. You're getting over the hump. The difficulty in the beginning is that your hands are used to doing things like this, moving together. Now you're telling one finger, you go that way, you go that way, you go that way. So you have, ooh, right? So it takes a little getting used to. If you can go through that, then you're well on the way to playing the guitar. Okay? Another thing I want to talk about is chords. Somebody asked, what chord is this? I'm pressing only one string. That's a G chord. I'm strumming from the 3rd, or I can put the 4th in there. So you might be passing by the music store tomorrow and you see a book in the window, 23,000 chords. Well, there are 7 notes, the 7 letters in the musical alphabet. So suddenly they've multiplied or split until they reach 23,000. You don't need that many chords. And this G with just one finger is as valid as this one. Right? So here I'm playing 3 strings. G, B, G, and D. These notes make up the G chord. If I play all 6 strings, I am just doubling on the notes that I'm already pressing down. So I'm not adding any new sound to the chord. And that should clear up the confusion. This big G is no more valid than this one. It's like a choir. You go to choir practice and the bass is out, away on vacation, so he's out. The tenor, he's gone to the movie with his fiancée, so he's not there either. So all is left are us. So we won't go home, we'll sit. We'll still work with what we have. And it still sounds nice. Next week the bass comes back, tenor is back, and the whole chorus is singing. So we are not adding anything new. All we're doing is adding a lower sounding G, lower sounding B, and D. So don't worry about the size of a chord, or you might see a person playing a G like this. So there are thousands of ways to play one chord. Don't be distracted. I know the feel. Students always say, why aren't we playing the big chord, as if the big chord is the goal? No. You want to understand how chords work, and you can play a small chord, or a big chord, the same thing. Last week's lesson, I demonstrated Smokey Robinson's cruising. It's very there. The important thing I pointed out was to set up a groove. So no matter the chord size, if you can't get the groove down, the song will sound wrong. So watch last week's lesson if you didn't. There. And then this. And it's not a big chord, one finger. So the idea is learning to play the guitar. You have to bear 2 things in mind, mostly. That it takes practice to train these fingers, that all your life You've been doing one thing. Now you're telling them to do something else. Take some getting used to and stay focused. You're you. What's your ambition? What songs do you like? What do you want to do with the skills you develop as a guitar player who also sings? Okay, and remember what I said last week about singing. Most people say they can't sing because they don't know the songs that they're trying to sing. That is a big issue when it comes to singing. You have to know the lyrics, the words. If you know them, it's a matter, does this sound like the way I heard it on the radio? And by the way, you won't sound like the radio, but in terms of, does the sound go up? Does it go down? Does it stay the same? A note, a pitch can move one of three ways. It can go up, it can go down, or it can stay the same. So you have to learn to hear, does the sound go up or down? Up, down. So does it get higher in pitch? Does it get lower in pitch? Does it stay the same? So choose songs that you know. It could be, he's got the whole world in his hand, this land is here. Easy songs that won't demand too much in terms of remembering the lyrics. And listen, did this song go up? Do I sound like that? Did the sound go up? Did it go down? Did it remain the same? And if you keep analyzing these things, you're developing your listening skills, because that's what it's all about. Listening. Where's the sound going? Does that sound nice? Did I not move? Should I move? Those are the things you consider when you're singing or setting up to learn a song. Same thing with the guitar. If I'm playing a G and I hear this, oops, something is off there. Don't just say, oh, and kick the wall or whatever. Just look what went wrong. Oh, my finger's in the wrong fret. See, it wasn't that serious. How far away is the next fret? Just here. So now I'm good. So make it fun. Ask yourself questions. How hard is it to put your ring finger on the first string at the third fret and strum from the fourth with your right hand, like that? And if you hear this, if you hear that dull thud, you know that you need to put a little more pressure on this string there, right there. Just a little more. There. That's a G. It's a C, D7, back to G. So learning the guitar is like driving. You don't say, all right, I want to learn to drive a Benz. You just want to learn to drive. Once you're done, you get your license, you buy whatever car you want. Same thing with the guitar. Once you understand how the chords work, get familiar with some of the expressions, learn to tune the guitar. Next week I'll be talking about tuning. Then you're ready to play. You're at home now. Those of us who have to stay home, and again, we can't thank those people who have to go out enough. But if you're home, make this stay home time count. Don't just whine. I don't understand how people are so upset at staying at their house, but that's another matter. I'm talking about music here. If guitaring is your thing, and this again is the fourth in the 8-session series, then you're well on your way to learning a beautiful instrument. Stick with it, be patient, go to YouTube, look on the videos over and over again, subscribe, tell your friends about it, get on board, shoot me any questions you have, and I'll clarify. And if you have a child who was into some music program at college and you need help, I can help. Send me a message and I'll see how I can help out. We're all in this thing together, and I hope to see you here next week and the week after that. Share out with friends and family and bring them around. Share the joys of music as we go through this thing together. Until next time, happy strumming, and thank you.